to Living the Amazing Life podcast. We're on episode 38. Man, we're just moving along, and we just thank God for the opportunity to share with you on today. I'm Coach Tim Harrell, your motivational leadership expert, as well as your business accelerator. And I have my son here, Terrell Harrell, who is the owner of Creative Collective Films. And we're so delighted to have you back on the podcast today, Terrell. And we just want everybody to share. And if you have not subscribed to the podcast, please do that. Subscribe to the podcast and make sure you share with a family or friend. And so, Terrell, we just want to continue our conversation from last week as we were talking about bridging the generational gaps. But you kept saying this one thing, that meaningful relationships, this phrase, right. Meaningful relationships. And I would like you to take just a few minutes and just kind of unpack that. What is having a meaningful relationship looks like?
In my definition of meaningful relationships, I look at it as relationships that takes time to develop, relationships that's not artificial, relationships that you can people hold each other accountable. Relationships that are big on communication, people sharing like how they feel. One of the biggest things to me about having a meaningful relationship is feeling like you're always in a safe place to express yourself. Right. Because a lot of times people don't feel like they are in safe places to really be who they are because they don't want to be judged, because we may feel like we're too indifferent, or we may feel like, that's just weird to feel that way or say. So I think allowing people to have that safe place to not only to express themselves, but to genuinely grow into who they are. Right. Because a lot of times, man, in this generation, a lot of people are they have a poker face. They're just trying to fit the mold in what society says. Right. That this is how you should look like, this is how you should talk, this how you should feel. And a little shameless plug. I'm me and one of them friends of mine, we started a podcast called Revenge of the Blurs. So a blurred is basically a black nerd, right? Because black boys growing up in the black society, we really didn't have the safe space to express our nerdom with comic books, Marvel, anime, and stuff like that. So like we always had to be like, I like rap music. You know what I mean? Because like growing up, I listen to more, like even now, like I listen to rock, country. Like one of my favorite bands is Linkin Park. You know what I mean? Because I grew up around that, I grew up as a suburban black kid. So like I grew up around like white kids. So when I was with my cousins, I had to listen to like DMX and Wu-Tang, you know what I mean? But like and I had to act like I had to fit that mold. But then when I was around my friends, I could listen to Kid Rock, Slim Biscuit, Limp Bizkit and stuff like that. So back to like having meaningful relationships, like just allowing people to be who they are, express who they are, and to grow into becoming more of who they can be. Right. Yeah.
And I know we've been discussing about the difference between generational groups, and we were particularly dealing with the baby boomers and the millennials, the Gen Y, generational Y, and so when you talk about meaningful relationships, how is that different between the two groups? How, you got the baby boomers here, you got the millennials here, and trying to bridge these two generations together. Of course, right in the middle, you got Generation X. Right. So trying to bridge these, because I think most of our baby boomers have millennials. Right. Our kids are millennials. Right. And so trying to relate to them, we raise them, and now trying to relate to them as adults. How does a meaningful relationship play out in that situation?
Giving the younger generation the grace to be who they are. Right. I think a lot of a lot of the generation gaps just come from a lack of understanding,
right?
And not wanting to understand. Like we don't understand why they wear their clothes like that. We don't understand why they listen to their music like that.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure when you was growing up, they didn't. They probably the older generation probably understand why you listen to music you listen to.
Right.
Like, listen to like I don't know, Rolling Notes and Planet
Hall
Rock.
and Notes.
Oh yeah, Hall and Notes. Hall and Notes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like I think each generation to bridge that gap is basically extending that hand, say,
right,
let's fellowship,
yeah.
And let's take the time to get to know each other and understand each other, because like if it's a saying that says you will always lose if you think the world should conform to you, then you to conform to the world. And what that means is basically like you think that everything supposed to go your way. Right. You have to change. You have to be able to evolve. Right. Mm-hmm. Because like even now, like as been a pastor, like if you don't evolve with like how you approach spread the gospel. Right. Mm-hmm. Like now you can't just be doing TV broadcasting which you can't do that no more. You know what I mean? Now people don't have like actual physical Bibles. People got the apps. Right. Mm-hmm. Now we're not passing the plate around. We're doing the Cash App. You know what I mean? So it's just that, like I said, understanding the times and knowing what to do. And like I think that a lot of baby boomers, man, they just be stuck in their old ways because they feel like they're back in my day, this is what we did, and like that was all good, but it's not like that no more. You know, mm-hmm. Like I said, you know what I mean. Like I said, like times back then was more simpler. Yeah, and you're right. Even with sharing the gospel, we don't change the gospel message, but we change our methodology and how we present the gospel, so that it can reach the masses. Right. I mean, if we don't change it, our method and how we present it now, then we're not going to reach the people that God desires us to reach. So yeah, I get it. And you talk about baby boomers. When you go back to what you were saying about being able to express yourself. Mm-hmm. When we grew up, we were not able to express ourselves. It was told to us. You speak when you've been spoken to. You should be seen, not heard. You're seen and not heard. Right. And so we had that mentality. So we're kind of, even as your father, we're trying to say, Terrell, you can't, you be seen and not heard. And you like, no, I want to express myself. So I think that had a lot to do with even, I would say, not so much. I would say it put a strain on the relationship. Right. It put a strain on the relationship because we're baby boomers. We're not understanding that even the kids that we're having, they're not us. They didn't experience what we experienced. Mm-hmm. Like we said, we were in the industrial age. Mm-hmm. Now and then a technology age, mm-hmm. and so we have to kind of learn and adapt and be wise in how we raise our kids or how we build meaningful relationships. Right. And you're right. Some people don't want to, some of our baby boomers, they so starch that they don't want to bend or be flexible. Right. Because when you're flexible and you bend, you can learn. Yeah. You can learn and then you can understand when you bend and be flexible, you can understand the other person's philosophy or the way the other person think. Right. But if not, you be stuck in your old ways. Yeah. And then now you don't have meaningful relationships. And now you got this gap that now there's a communication gap that you can't communicate to the person. You have so much to offer. The baby boomer has so much to offer to the millennial, and the millennial has so much to offer to the baby boomer. Why would let me say this? Why would the baby boom? I mean, not the baby boomer, the millennial shut down? Why would you? If you have so much to offer to me, why would you shut down giving it to me as a baby boomer? Well, I think one of the reasons why we were shut down because we just feel like our voice is not being heard. Yeah. That's and not even just in like personal relationships. I feel like that's going on a lot in the workplace. Right. Where I hear a lot of business owners, or when I listen to podcasts about, or just like interviews about millennials in the workplace, like and I'm not really sure why, but millennials want to feel like whatever they do, they're making an impact.
Right.
And maybe because like in our generation, it was so innovative. Right. Like so much innovative things happened during our generation. Like I said, it all started with the internet.
Right.
Then another big technological thing that happened in our generation that changed our whole life was the introduction of the smartphone. Right. Because if you remember, and this has been a study that's shown that when the smartphone first came out, and I believe it was like 2013. Well, I can't remember, like 2011, anywhere between 2010, 2013, the first smartphone came out was the iPhone. Right. It seems like all like independent thought creativity kind of slowed down because like we all just been relying on the innovativeness of our phone. And maybe some in some psychological way that makes us feel like, yo, we gotta make more impact, you know what I mean? Because like, but I just think that one of the reasons why the millennials shut down because we just feel like we're not being heard, we're not being understood. Like I said, like I come from the MTV era, you know, it's all about rebel, you know what I mean, rebelling, bucking the system. So it's like, and then once we feel like we're not being understood, then like,
well, what about this word entitlement? You know, what about, because we have labeled the millennials as a generational group that's entitled. Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that we are a generation definitely of entitlement. And honestly, I think that entitlement came from like pretty much from a childhood. Like you said, like I said in the last podcast, like we was getting trophies for coming in last. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Everybody get like, I remember when I was playing sports and as a young kid, everybody got a trophy.
Everybody got a
trophy.
Matter
of fact, we had got a trophy. We didn't even win nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And with that, and then, you know, with our parents be like, oh, you know, it's just a reward for trying, where, you know, back, like, you know, you don't, if you didn't win no championship, you're not getting no trophy. Right. So I think like things like that cause us to be very entitled, you know, and I just think that, you know, I think we just different. We just different. We just process things differently because of the times that we're in. Like we didn't have to deal with the harsh racism like y'all had to. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we didn't have to deal with that. Like
segregation.
So when we came in, when millennials was born, we was born in the golden era of America. Right. The economy was booming. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the 90s, like the economy was booming. So like everything was just so good. Like we didn't have to deal with. Right. We didn't have to deal with, like, you know, and then, like, I mean, our first disaster was 9/11. Then it was the market crash. Right. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But I just think that just that certain time that we was born in, man, we were just born in the golden era of America. Yeah. And that and like somewhere that kind of played on our mentality. You know what I mean? How we was raised. Because, you know, I remember growing up in the 90s, man, like the stuff we deal with now, we ain't never had to deal with it. Right. Mm-hmm.
You are a gift to the earth. You are a gift to the earth. And when you begin to think that way, when you change your mindset and begin to think that I'm a gift to the earth, right? The people are blessed because of me. People are better off because of me. When you begin to think that way, it shifts your perspectives, your decisions, things that you go after. It shifts that. Because now you're not, and I'm not saying that you're thinking that you're better than everybody. No, you're thinking that, you know, your thinking is I'm a gift to the earth, so I have something to offer. And most of us, we don't pursue our dreams, we don't pursue our goals, we don't go after what we desire, is because we believe that we don't have anything to offer. I'm here to tell you, you have something to offer. And God He put it in you. You just got to find that, and it's all wrapped up in your original you. And once you find that and take an assessment of that, you'll know what you can offer. You'll know the gift that you have. You'll know your purpose and what you can do to make someone else's life better. Bruce Lee said, self-knowledge involves relationship. To know oneself is to study oneself in action with another person. Relationship is a process of self-evaluation or self-revelation. Relationship is the mirror in which you discover yourself. To be is to be related. Yeah, and I know you mentioned something about the workplace. You know how most millennials, they're not career people.
No.
And of course, with us being entrepreneurs and owners of a business, we struggle with that.
But I would like to say, the millennials is the age group with the most entrepreneurs.
Okay.
With the most entrepreneurs, millennials.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
If you and it all comes from that independent thought. That's why I will always say I'm not just saying this because I'm a millennial.
Right.
But I just feel like the millennial was like the best age group out here. Like because we were so innovative. Like we challenged the status quo. Our generation challenged the status quo.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And like COVID, when COVID happened, COVID produced so many entrepreneurs.
Right.
And it came from millennials, from podcasting, YouTubing, just doing side hustles and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I just think that, I think that the millennials, we are the future of America.
Right.
We are America. Like
But then you got a lot of millennials that don't believe in marriage.
That's true.
Yeah, they don't believe in getting married and having that family and the house with the white picket fence because that's the baby boomers thinking.
Right. That's
but the millennials don't think like that.
But and like I said, I think that was kind of by design. Like I said, like now when they build houses, they want to build houses with dining table, like family rooms in there, no big backyards. You know what I mean, to entertain family or company, stuff like that. And I also on the other side of the coin, I see that a lot of millennials who do get married, but they don't want kids.
Right.
And I just think that with the millennials, man, a lot of us just I guess that entitlement, like we just want to live for ourselves,
right.
And enjoy life, and then like a lot of millennials was born from the baby boomers and from Generation X, and with a lot of the divorce rates was up. So I know a lot of people in my generation, they don't. Well, let me back up. So, see, back in y'all day, the man was career driven and the woman was family driven. Right. The man go out there, he work at the plant, come home, work all day, come home, give his check to his wife, sit on the couch, drink a beer, blase. And like that's how it went back in the day. Right. So once the woman was like, I mean, I want a career too. Right. And the man said, you know what? I don't want to just live my life just being an ATM machine. Right. And that kind of drove the wedge in the family unit. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Well, maybe we need to take the time to rethink the structure of marriage. Right. And when I say that, and I don't mean like, like, but like maybe like some women are not meant to be housewives.
I mean, it's more like a partnership.
Yeah, like what I'm saying. Like I don't think that if you get married, the man should all just be the only one that's working. The one be, I agree. You can have two career people. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Some people are hiring nannies. Right. Like stay at home nannies. And I just think that now that everybody wants to be something. Right. Like back in the day, like I said, people found satisfaction just being the iron worker or I'm the neighborhood bakery man. And like and people found fulfillment in that. Now it's not like that. We want fulfillment in the nicest cars, the nicest houses, the finest threads, and that's what we find a fulfillment in. And just being a family man is not in this generation. It's not so appealing.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that because the world is offering so much more than it was, and even in the African American community, we have so much opportunity to explore and even discover ourselves, and that we have much more inside of us than what we just see. And I know that the millennials risk takers. They will step out there in faith. They will go after what they want, you know, and they are not intimidated by whoever.
Like again, like, you know, because of the technological / informational age we grew up in,
right?
We're not buying cars because we got Uber,
right?
We're not buying homes because you got Airbnb, you got all these rental different properties. Like I think it's the spontaneous freedom that a lot of
that's good.
A lot of millennials like, because being tied down to a mortgage, you know, like the root word mortgage is more,
right?
Death certificate, you know, and like saying, like, you know, back in like the baby boomers, you know, Gen X days,
right?
That was the idea. That was the ideal lifestyle. Go to school, go to college, get you a good job,
right? Get
married, get you a mortgage,
right?
Wife and kids. Done.
Yeah, that was it.
and done. And like, and a lot of men were like, man, you know, that's cool, but life is so much more than that.
Yeah.
And because we was the generation of the internet, we saw the world.
Right.
You know, we saw what could be offered to us. We was able to like, you know, experience things just from the screen, and we was looking like, man, like we can have that, we can do that, you know. And like, you know, and as time went on, we surpassed all the gatekeepers, you know. Like now, back in the day, like with my camera right now, I could shoot a whole movie,
right,
and get it on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? All the gatekeepers going, like back in the day, you couldn't do that. You had to go through certain people. But now, like, everything is, the internet made the world so much smaller.
Yeah.
So millennials saw how we have so much access to the world,
right?
And because we know we got so much access to the world, we're not thinking about doing anything that's going to pretty much slow us down or hold us back.
Right. And you're so right, because I mean, even doing this podcast, we didn't had to get permission from anybody. No, you know, we didn't have to pay anybody.
When you think about it, like I said, man, I'm gonna always drive this point home. The internet is so powerful, because think about it. Where you're submitting your podcast to is the same place where the $1 billion production companies submit their content to. Right. The playing field is level.
It's level.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you don't have to worry about trying to pitch your show to the $1 million studios. No. Right. Because you put your stuff on YouTube, so is Paramount. Right. So is NBC. You know what I'm saying? They put all the content there. So it's like you can compete. Of course, I mean, it's a hard competition. But with the right algorithms, when somebody go watch like a clip from a $1 billion production company, and in the comments they can see your content as well. Right. So it's like the internet made the world so much smaller and so much attainable, and that was just pure gold to the millennials. It's because like even now, man, I think that some of the things that the baby boomers like grew up on, we do need to get back to that, because like going back to the point of meaningful relationships, like marriage is a declining thing. And like, because like prime example, let's say back when you was in the age of dating, you had to go out and find your mate. Right. Where now I could just log on my Instagram and see all these women, like, you know, all these women, all these. So like I see that I have so much access more. So I'm not gonna fight hard for a relationship when I know that, hey, somebody's right there. Just click your button. You're not gonna fight this.
If this don't work, I got a whole list of them.
Yeah, because she in my DMs, I go in her DMs. You know what I mean? And it's like, and like I said, it's always a pro and a con to it. And, and I think that's why like a lot of relationships or marriages haven't really taken a real healthy like get a deep rooted, because like we just have so much access to everything. Like I could date a girl today, and if I don't like her, I go on Instagram and have another girl tomorrow. Right. And vice versa. So
really there has to be some balance. Yeah. You know, and I see it. I enjoy the convenience, the technology. Right. Of and that's one of the things that as a baby boomer, I've learned to balance it. Okay, I like my baby boomer traditions. Right. You know, when it comes to family, certain things that I grew up on that I still value and I still hold dear. But then I also look at some of the things that especially millennials are experiencing as far as the technology, the convenience. You know, I'm a baby boomer who loves social media. I'm a baby boomer who loves technology, the convenience of having the world at my fingertips, you know, the internet and things. And because there's a lot of baby boomers who are not computer literate, who are not technologically savvy, and they're not trying to be. Right. You know, they're not trying to be, you know, but that was one of the things that I loved about the millennials is that, hey man, they're very creative, they're smart, and I try to learn as much as I can from the millennials. So wow, this has been great, son. This has been great, and our time is well spent. And again, guys, I want you to share this podcast. I know it's been a blessing to you. Put something in the comment section if you got something out of this. And of course, Terrell, my son, will be back, definitely be back on the podcast to talk more about whatever subject we want to talk about. You know, may not be about generational gaps, could be something, you know, my son, he talks politics, you talk, all, you know, religion. And so there'll be a lot of things that we could talk about. So again, subscribe and share this podcast, put something in the comment, and we'll look forward to coming back on next week. So guys, you know what time it is. It's time for us to leave, but it's time for you to live your amazing life. We'll see you next week. God bless you. Hey guys, this is Tim Harrell. Man, this was a phenomenal training. I'm telling you, man, John Maxwell and the team poured into us, and now we're ready to do what we've been equipped to do. I'm excited about my new business, Next Level Coaching and Consulting, and so I'm excited about taking the principles that I learned and to implement those principles into my business. I'm excited. This was phenomenal. The coaching session was great. The leadership and development session was great. And man, this just was exciting. So I'm excited, and I'm so happy that I made the investment in me. And I'm here to encourage you today. If you have not made an investment in your leadership growth, your business growth, your personal development, you need to do that. You need to do that. And if you need help, all you have to do is contact me, Next Level Coaching and Consulting, and you can get the help you need. Also look for the information that will be with this video, and I can help you grow and develop to the person you desire to be. All right, look forward to connecting with you soon. Bye-bye.